we're all now looking at. So the recording has officially started again. The purpose of this is so that you demonstrate a basic understanding about the major beliefs and spread in the history of these three Abrahamic monotheistic religions. We term it a children's book because, again, I want you to present the information in a way that is easily understandable to a child, like picture like a second grader. So that means that if you go to some website and copy down and paste everything on there, not only are you cheating and plagiarizing and we'll get a zero, and it will not make me happy, that would also not be easily understandable to a child. But again, you'll be creating a children's book of the three Abrahamic religions. You'll need to create a unique storyline. This is where the creativity comes into it, to show what you've learned about the three Abrahamic monotheistic religions. So, using any notes you have, any activities we've done to complete this project is what you'll use. Notice how I made you do a Abrahamic religions chart. Perhaps that will come in handy here. If you're using the internet to research more information, try to use credible sources like .org, .net, .gov. Don't try to go to just whatever the Google suggestion is at the top of the screen. That don't always work out really well. You have to cite all your sources that you use. I would make a works cited page. You guys did a good job of that in your last project. Plagiarism is not allowed. Plagiarism, by definition, is taking somebody else's work and passing it off as your own. So even if you don't directly copy and paste the information, if you say, well, but Mr. Norris, I changed a few words, or Mr. Norris, I just, no. If you took someone else's work and passed it off as your own, that's plagiarism. I'll give you a zero. Don't do that. Put things in your own words. You're all capable of doing that and doing well doing that. The main thing that you're going to do here is have a book which has a main character, which we'll show examples of in a second, and a unique storyline. The way in which the book is presented, you can make a paper book, and if you want me to show you how to make a paper book, I can show you how to do that. We used to all make paper books, but we've lessened that requirement. You can do a Google Slides for this project. Your book needs to have 8 pages or 8 slides of information. It needs to have a front and back cover. The front cover needs to have the title of the book and your name. Back cover is like your works cited page. Any sources you use, your name again, and then your class period. Make sure you have your name on it, please, please, please. You need to have at least 2 pages for Judaism, 2 pages for Christianity, and 2 pages for Islam. Each page must include 1 illustration or image and include at least 3 sentences. For each religion, you need to include the following things over 2 pages. I don't really care, as I have in the past, how and when you list these things, or where, rather, you list these things. I just care that they're there for each of the 3 religions over 2 pages. You need to include a prophet/founder of the religion, 2 key events from its history, 3 things that followers of this religion believe in, 1 other important topic or fact, the name of the holy book of this religion, the name of the house of worship in this religion, 1 fact you find interesting. So if you include those things, you have met the requirements. And this will be due Monday, March 8th, at the beginning of class. For now, we'll see where we get in the next 2 days. If you all work real hard the next 2 days, I have no doubt that by the start of class on Monday, we'll be fine. We'll have a few mini due dates to check in on your progress. I've condensed the timeline a little bit than the other teachers. I'm going to challenge you a little bit with this one. Basically, I'm going to check you on Friday, tomorrow in the middle of class, to see where you're at. Make sure that you keep up with these deadlines. We know that. Bring your book to class every day if you're doing a paper book. So please bring your iPads and take it home to work on. Let's look at a couple examples. And I'll get these pulled up on the video here momentarily. I'm presenting on another iPad for the class. Are there any questions so far? Yes, Cameo.
Can it be like more than 8 pages?
Sure. All right, so let's look at this. So there's 2 examples within this little scenario here. So we'll look at Miss Diddlow's example first. I didn't make an example for this one. I used to have an example I made for the paper version, but I don't have one for the digital version. So we can see it now on the meet. So you can see here, Miss Diddlow has created a character, Abe R. Ham. Oh, isn't that wonderful? All right. You don't have to make it as cutesy and artsy as this. You need to just meet the requirements. But you can see here, she's created this little boy named Abe R. Ham was walking along one day. And she's basically telling the story of Judaism through this character's eyes. You can see here, after living in Canaan for a while, so on and so forth. You see the holy books mentioned there. Obviously, Miss Diddlow is probably more of a skilled writer than most of you, so you don't have to be quite this fluent. But you can see here by looking through that there's a main character, a storyline, and the all the information is presented. But let's go ahead and look at another student's from last year's version, and she indicated to me that this was a project which received a good grade. There are a few spelling errors in it, but I think nevertheless that it's kind of what I want. It's creative, it's kind of goofy, which I expect because you're 12. So here we go. Basketball Buds by Boston Willard. So you can see here he has created main characters. Luca in this case, who has red hair, and he's then listing some facts about Islam, that it has 1.8 billion followers. He lists the prophet or founder of the religion. He talks a little bit about the story Muslims believe about the founding of the faith, and he includes some other examples as well. And he does the same thing with his other characters and religions. So there's that. These examples are there for you to look at. Please do not copy off of those. I know you won't do that, but those are examples. Last thing we'll do here is look at the rubric. We'll go back to this. Actually, we'll look at this a little bit here. All right, so the first thing we want to do today is brainstorm. And I'll actually make a copy of the stock for you. I messed up today and didn't have that. So first thing you want to do is brainstorm. Who's your characters? Type those down there. And then just think about what will your character be doing throughout the story. Please don't think too long and hard about this. You don't need to have some elaborate, Emmy-winning plot line here. Make it as basic as you can. Remember, the purpose of this is to make it so that a child can understand it, so that we can clearly see that you understand the information which has been presented to you. Step 2 is the Abrahamic Religions graphic organizer is the same thing as your charts, okay? So you've already done that. And then step 3, and I'll make this optional, you can write or plan out your story, okay? What will go on each page? Look at the requirements. I highly, highly, highly suggest that you fill this out here. Just make little bullet points in these boxes and list the things that you're going to include. That way, when you start your slides or you start your physical book, all you have to do is look back at this chart and your layout is already there. It's kind of like drawing up a blueprint for a house before you build a thing. If you just try to build the house without a blueprint, it probably is not going to be real good, is it? No. Okay. Thanks for affirming that, basic fact. So the rubric here, here's how I'm grading this. If you have 8 pages with the title and your name, boom, 10 points. If you have 3 sentences on page 2 to 7, it's 18 points. And you can look from there. The thing that's the most important is the 21-point section, which has to do with the correct information. And then it's a 65-point project. So this will actually be the largest grade of the quarter, which makes sense because the quarter is called World Religions. That's our theme. Okay, so that's that. Today, I suggest that you spend time on this, on this outline and then get started on your book. I'm not done talking yet. Are there any questions? Excuse me. Okay. Well, if you have a question, if you're watching this video at home, feel free to reach out and email. Those of you in my class can go ahead and get to work. Good luck. Let me know if you need anything.